Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this meeting in Project Medicali, Italy. The title, A Disruptive Technology for Infection Control in Critical Area and the Reduction of Hospital Liquid Waste. The company mission, the clinical investigation ISO, international ISO, the clinical investigation and the clinical validation is obligatory. Technical features and the fluid dynamics, competitors, biosustainability, commercial. I am Umbro Sciamannini, founder and Project Medicali and the Scientific Office. The surgical site infection notice the presence of many cases of morbidity and morbility caused by nosocomial infection and organ sepsis in operating theater. Our motivation, taking care of our community throughout its entire life by effective human participation, is the scope of our research. Emerge the need of a correct work conception. Our route, starting from a social study to development of any innovative technology. Both our and your objective, educate to the alliance between humanity and the environment. We are four authors. Can you, PhD Professor Silvestri, can you start, please?
Thank you, Dr. Sciamannini, and thank you to you all for participating in this workshop. And we are going to present you a novel technology, a novel medical device, which is a conjunction of two devices. One is a suction pump, an aspirator of biological fluids produced typically in hospital environment, and it uses along with disinfectant, which is the Activirium bioactive. The main aim is not only to suck biological fluid, but also to disinfect them in a few minutes, and with the aim to reduce waste and dangerous and infectious waste. I have had the privilege to assist to the clinical validation of this device. And we may say we performed this in the hospital where I am the head of clinical engineering service, and along with an accredited biological lab who provided the microorganism that you can see in this slide. And in the endoscopy unit, we collected 3-4 receptacles of biological fluids from patients who were subject to endoscopic treatment, gastro, colon, and so on. And the doctor of the lab performed an inoculation with these microorganisms. I must say that I look at it at a distance because they are, if you can see, they are very dangerous, And after having inoculated the liquid, she performed a sample, and each sample counted more or less tens million of colony-forming unit per milliliter. So this was, we realized, almost 3 receptacles of 2 liters with biological fluid, with infected biological fluids, and then the aspirator sucked this fluid, and after 5 minutes inside the aspirator, the doctor of the lab took a sample to perform subsequent analysis. The first after 5 minutes, the second after cleaning and rinsing water, the second sample from rinsing water from the exhaust valve and from the suction pipe, because this device performs a thermal disinfection, as you can see later. So we have these 3 samples. These 3 samples were waited for 5 days, more or less, to test if they develop the colony. And after 5 days, after 10 days, after 30 days, the result is 0 colony-forming unit per milliliter. I just want to remember that the first sample was taken after 5 minutes from suction. Okay. Therefore, we performed. Yes, this slide just summarizes the results which I was witness of, and the second validation was about usability engineering standard, which is a very interesting standard for devices that must be used from hospital personnel, such as nurses or others, because it tests if the operator can easily perform all the operation related to the device without the need of looking to further documentation and so on. So this standard is related to avoid the operator mistakes, which are very frequent in hospital settings. And we let this device to use in 2 departments, intensive care unit and an urology ward. They were used by 5 nurses and 5 other medical personnel, and afterwards they compiled a summary with some questions about the difficulties they encountered in checking the proper operation or solving some small or big problem related to the utilization of the device. The device is quite simple, but anyway, this standard wants that it is self-contained, so it should auto-explicate every situation and guide the operator to avoid mistakes and so on. The results were enough interesting because more than 9% and 95% found the device easy they had a positive judgment about the ease of use, and of more than 95% had found the device extremely useful in such environments because there is a big production of liquid. In ICU, mostly because of dialysate, because it can neutralize also dialysate, not only disinfect biological fluid which are infected, but also neutralize dialysate. So I think this is my main contribution. Now we have a short video which can show you the functioning of the device.
Healthcare-associated infections represent the most frequent adverse event for patients and medical personnel. Healthcare-associated infections represent the most frequent adverse event for patients and medical personnel. Every day, nosocomial infections result in prolonged hospital stays, increased resistance of microorganisms to antimicrobials, and massive additional costs for healthcare systems and families. The time to revolutionize hospital equipment for biological safety and prevention is now. Introducing ABT product line, an Axivirium bioactive technology. ABT 9000 and ABT 3000 are the first digitalized biomedical devices integrated with Axivirium bioactive molecules. They are designed to cut biological risks, improve efficiency, and reduce cost of healthcare biomedical fluids disposal. Both devices are defined by resistive touch screen, longer-lasting lithium batteries, Wi-Fi or 4G for remote control, software for fluids, liquids, and patients' data management, RFID for traceability of products used in the device. ABT combines 3 solutions for biological risk control. Chlorine and soda for disinfection of spent tracers and chemical reagents. Sodium carbonate for the neutralization of dialysis ultrafiltrate. And introducing, for the first time, Axivirium Bioactive, a modern chemical synthesis made to contrast RNA's nuclease activity in plasma, assuring total blockage of retroviral inhibition in 1 minute. This unique chemical solution is able to overcome the resistance to RNA's inactivation, with a greater rate of effectiveness on viral replication than a DNA-oriented action plan. ABT 9000 is ideal for surgery and critical care areas. 12-inch resistive touch screen, auto thermal disinfection at 40 degrees with Axivirium, containment capacity of 65 liters. 4 suction channels, anti-drop filters, 2 germicidal UV lamps for internal decontamination, 2 stainless steel tanks. ABT 3000 is ideal for recovery rooms. 10-inch resistive touchscreen, cold self-disinfection, containment capacity of 40 liters, 1 stainless steel tank, anti-drop filters, 2 suction channels, 2 germicidal UV lamps for internal decontamination. Choosing ABT product line means 4.0 technology, reduction of waste disposal cost, stop cross-contaminations, eased workload management, reduction of working times, stress, and surgery length.
Okay. So I think the video is quite explicative. However, now we have Dr. Angelo Rellini, who is from the Research and Development Department in IT and Project Medicali, the manufacturer of the device, who is going to explain and to show us the device in a deeper way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Silvestri. Thank you all for your presence. Good afternoon to all. I'll try to show you the technology inside our devices. Okay, the devices are biomedical instruments with both hardware and software technology with strong chemicals disinfection systems. Together, we have a high efficiency for the grid for neutralize all biological risk inside the hospital systems. The technology was designed in Umbria, in Italy, in the center of Italy, near Assisi. Maybe you know well than other country, other city. And the best focus of our research is to compliance to all norms that provide the management of the devices, quality management, medical disposal, usability engineering, electrical safety, electromagnetical compatibility. It's important for the operating rooms because without this compliance you can't access to the surgery room and make the disinfection inside. Also, clinical investigation for avoid the perform of our product. The ABT 9000 is the bigger one with 4 independent asynchronous suction channels, 2 tanks for a total of 65 liters of liquid, autothermal disinfection with Axivirium product. Autothermal because inside the device there is an heater that provide 40 degrees of temperature for make the best disinfection possible. And also with 2 tanks we can treat 2 different products in the same time. In the real time we can treat biological fluid. Also, we can treat ultradialysis liquid from dialysis rooms. ABT 3000, the little one, with only 1 tank for total of 40 liters, and 2 asynchronous and independent suction channel. Auto disinfection by Axivirium, not thermal because there isn't a heater, but if you connect to hot water of the hospital, you can make also the thermal disinfection. It's small and quickly for the room, for the patient's room, where the little it's help the staff for the daily use. Okay, now let me introduce the Axivirium Bioactive, the technology start for this product. Axivirium was born after over 10 years of research of combinatory chemistry, and we have a modern synthesis concentrate. We need only 0.25% for every 1 liter we capture. And we have by this product high level disinfection and decontamination of all biological waste we have to take in the operating room, surgery room, and critical areas of the hospital. This product degrade RNases at 100%. This is a warranty that we are are sure that at the end of the treatment, the biological waste are cleaning, and there isn't no cross-contamination, no infection for the staff of the hospital, and so on. Also, this synthesis is non-toxic, because we are sure at 100% that there isn't toxical substance that can make problem with the environment. Here we can see a table with other disinfectant we can find on the market. And as you can see, the big difference from the performance of Activirium and the performance of the other products. There is a big difference. For this, we are sure that our product is very competitive, it's very performance. Also, the device can use other two products. Sodium carbonate used to neutralize the dialysis ultrafiltrate, and chlorine and soda used to neutralize exhausted chemicals, antiblastic and tracers. And also we can supply a sterile kit today for the daily use of the device to connect to the bags, to the operating room, for help to capture all waste of the hospital. Okay, now we talk about the technical specification of the device. There is a summary of all technical details of the device, and now we to see step by step. Okay, database. It's provided by a database, standard database, to record every action used in the machine. All the aspirated machine are recorded in a standard database that we can export for processing, or also for therapeutic purpose, for have how liquid we treat, for of things can do this. The of ICE is for 20 compliance. To avoid any error by the operator. PM for help the staff in daily use of our devices. And also, as introduced before, the HMI is designed according to ISO 62366 usability engineering, all for make a easy system and useful system. Okay, measurement and dosage. For make a very best device, we take a lot of project system. Long-term calibration. The ABT device is equipped with triple redundant and self-calibration system. For example, when I make a capture of fluid, when the tank is full, the system reset and auto calibrate at 100% of the capacity. This for avoid that with later some operation the system not correct the fluid aspirated. We have we are sure that with this system the device is every time perfect and make a correct result. process confirmation. In the software, every time every time have a capture of a fluid, at the end of the process, there is a pop-up that shows us the quantity of aspirated liquid and the product dosage, for be sure that the degradation and utilization process go. Real-time treatment, this is a patented system. The disinfectant is dosed in a mixer before to enter in the tank. And the disinfection dosed in this mixer for be sure that in only 1 minute it functions and all it's neutralized and disinfected. Security. All hydraulic system and electrical system of the device are double controlled by hardware and by software for avoid any type of problem with our devices. Protection. The software is designed in according to 62366 usability engineering to avoid any type of problem. It's impossible to make something too dangerous. It's impossible because the software avoids it. Connectivity. Our devices are equipped with Wi-Fi module, also 4G modules, for remote assistance worldwide, and also for interconnection by hospital infrastructure. This also for Italian thing, 4.0 industry. But we can make remote control of a device in USA, and also the staff, the economical staff of the hospital can take the management data of the machine for the liquid aspirated for a lot of useful use. RFID, the device is equipped by RFID module to trace all chemical disinfectant we use, because when you when you refill the tank of the machine with the disinfectant, before you have to take the RFID, and if it's not recognized, it's impossible to refill the tank. This for be sure that only our product can be used to assure that the disinfection is complete. Battery. The machine, the devices are equipped with 24 lithium-ion battery with a long-lasting technology. With only one charge, a single charge, the device can run for over 24 hours without any type of problem, for every 1 day. The duration, it's a new technology cells with the 90% of initial capacity after 1,000 cycles of charge and discharge. This is for over 10 years, I think, of duration of the battery. Oops, che è successo? No, fatto casino. Sorry for that. Okay. Security of the batteries. We make security by a BMS battery management system, which provide double control, software and hardware, for be sure that to not stress the battery and make the life it's too long. Okay. Also, this device, we make our devices eco-friendly because the structure is made by stainless steel, 100% stainless steel, the most recycled material in the world. And it's very important because now all devices are in plastic, and plastic, we know that it's a problem. Our devices is by 100% stainless steel. Maintenance. All system equipped our devices are first-class product, and they don't need periodic substitution. They have a long life. This make able us to not make waste, to not produce waste. Renewable because by stainless steel structure we can take an old machine and renew it. After a lot of years of use, the structure is perfectly new. And after all the cleaning and buy new devices inside, we have a new machine. We not make a waste. Nanotechnology. The deck of the computer deck of the device is made by 60% more or less of recycled paper, and the surface is extremely opaque, soft touch, and anti-fingerprint. Also, the thermal healing, if you make a scratch on the surface, only by thermal healing you can repair it. It's a new nanotechnology, and it's very important because also in recyclable material. Okay, now if Federica can help me, we make a demo of the device. Only to show you the process of the disinfection by the device. This is a sterile kit we talked about before. Sterile because if we use it in operating in surgery room, we have to provide a sterilized device. We have a quick anti-drop connector. Suction, continuous suction, standard fluid, start session. You can see the operation start. You can see the tank. Okay, now we stop the process. When I push to the end, can see the confirmation of the fluid aspirated, more or less 2 liters, and the dosage of the disinfectant. We are sure that all liquid we have captured by the device are disinfected. This is our focus, to be sure that all waste, all liquid waste we treat by this device are 100% disinfected before to disposal it.
Now we can go on with engineer Giorgio Calenda, who is the head of clinical engineering of ED Hospital of Rome. He will show a comparison with the main competitor of Project Medicali with similar or more or less technologies. Thank you, Giorgio.
Thank you, Professor. So, hello everybody, I'm Giorgio Calenda. As the professor said, I'm the manager of clinical engineer of EDX of Rome, which is nearby, really close to here. So, we talked about functionality, clinical, and now in my presentation we will see a comparison among different devices. Okay, let's go straight to the focus point. What is the problem? Nosocomial infection are health emergency. There are 500,000 cases every year. Let's just think that nosocomial infection kill more than road accident. Each year, $1 million of compensation are paid from the National Services System to the family who has suffered health damages, which is a huge waste of money. Also for patients and hospital personnel, biological and chemical risks are a really big problem. Then, in terms of biological liquids aspiration, what are the details that can guide the choice of clinical engineer? In my experience, one of the most difficult things is to explain to the hospital administration why to purchase a device instead of another, especially if the device you choose is the most expensive. That's why doing a dosage comparison is always really important. Okay, the first comparison is about the intended use. We can see how ABT has several uses. ABT 9000 is especially for operating rooms and critical areas like reanimation, cardiac surgery, intensive therapies. ABT 3000, which is the smallest one, is focused on hospital stays like gynecology, nephrology, and dialysis and analysis laboratory. While the other two competitors has a few areas of use. It's easy to understand that more fields of use means more saving. Okay. The second area of our comparison is about the action and treatment waste. ABT does a degradation and retrovalue inhibition of biological liquids, as we say. Do also a disinfection of antiblastic tracers and exhausted chemical reagents, and the neutralization of dialysis ultrafiltrate, while the other two competitors do just an aspiration of biological liquids, and the decontamination is made by adding other product at the discretion of the operator. Okay. Of course, it would be better if the device make decontamination less at the discretion of the operator as much as possible. So, we can say the attention must be paid to the treatment of the waste and not only on their aspiration. Oops. In terms of chemical use, the comparison demonstrates that ABT uses oxyvirium, which is a synthesis that counteracts the nucleus activity of RNAs present in plasma. We can have 100% degradation in just 1 minute of RNAs, and all this process is supported by more than 10 years of DNA studies. ABT also use chlorine and soda for disinfection and sodium carbonate for neutralization. Instead, the competitor one use a medical device which is a disinfectant for medical instruments and surfaces, and the competitor 2 use an high-level disinfectant dedicated to the contamination of the system during the washing cycle. So, the question is, are they all effective? As we saw before, for a biomedical device, having a clinical validation is very important. What about with regards to the machine disinfection? The comparison show how HBT in hot and cold condition can have an effectivity reduction of 12 logs in only 5 minutes, according to the most stringent safety test. We can see like safety tests like ISO and test by INAIL. Competitor 1 make in cold condition a reduction of microbial load by 99.6%, but in 15 minute posing. And competitor 2 does only a disinfection in cold condition with the medical device used. So, when we talk about infections, safety tests are crucial. What about the suction channels? With ABT, we can connect up to 4 or 8 bags, depending on the model, to be sucked at the same time with different type of wastewater, to use all the chemical solution. While with the other two competitors, it is possible to connect up 2 bags to suck only biological wastewater. We have to highlight how the contemporary suction of distinct sources is a very strong epidemiological validation. Analyzing the digital technology, it is possible to see that ABT is more advanced in terms of display, which is intuitive and show all the process information, database, which can record all the operation carried out, and in terms of connection with the hospital network, as we saw before, and for remote assistance. Hospital, and obviously clinical engineer, must pretend digitalized technologies to ease and decrease workload. The comparison related to the machine certification demonstrates that only IBT has got all the clinical, usability and quality validation to be used in operating rooms and hospital areas. The first thing to know in our work is that certification and validation is mandatory to introduce a biomedical device in operating rooms. Finally, ABT is the only device with European Seal of Excellence, which is a prestigious certificate delivered by the European Commission. And then my colleague will soon explain the economic impact of this seal. So, as we saw in the first slide, the question was, in terms of biological liquid aspiration, what are the details that can guide the choice of clinical engineer? Their answer is here. There are no details when it comes to health. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, Giorgio, for your comparison with competitors. And now it's my pleasure to give space to Andrea Maggi about biosustainability. Andrea Maggi is a senior expert in lab ambientali, and he will talk about biosustainability. Thank you, Andrea.
Good afternoon, and before, excuse me for my English, it's not very perfect, but okay, I'm Andrea Maggi. I have an experience of 25 years in analysis lab, medical and environmental lab. I like this new technology because solve a lot of problem in the first in the environment, second in the cost, because I have had a lot of lab in in Italy, in Swiss, in Poland, in a lot of other countries. And for the first it's I think a green technology, because sure I go with this. It's a green technology because protect the person that work in the hospital or in all sanitary structure or firm. The technology ABT born when with the advent of molecular biology, because with this type of analysis, this type of analysis has determined a new aspect in hospital setting. For example, with bags or PBC bags, only with molecular biology it can be possible to see with the microporosity of these bags is not protected, sure, the person and also the build where this process will do. So with ABT it's possible to treat immediately the sample, and so is not, or the mission is to not go out from this bags, excuse me, and the person that work in this place are not exposed to this problem. Also, with this process, there is a very big plus for the microclimate, because there isn't the emission. With one ABT 9000 is possible to treat 24 tons per year, and the saving of dioxin POP is very, very big. 24 tons. With 1,000 of ABT 9000, the dioxin that we can save, it's very, very big. Very, very big for the, as in this example, we are considered free European countries. We must think if it's possible to put in all the world this technology as possible to have for our world atmosphere and so on. As owner, I go also there, is not, but as owner of a lab, I can assure that also in money there is a lot of save, because in Italy there is 1,018 for tons. In Swiss we have near 3,000 for tons. In Poland, I think near 1,800. But for one lab or hospital or clinic or urology or and so on, this cost is very, very, very important in the budget. Here I spoke before, but in one lab there is arrive a lot of requests also from the customer, because in environmental lab arrive a lot of person with a sample of water or a lot of sample, and haven't the solution. With ABT, the solution also for production firm, where can be used some material that are not is not possible to go out in the water, down water. And so I think that with this technology, for my impression, is a very revolutionary solution for it's a very good green solution. The target of our customer are sure hospital with the surgery room and all critical area, hospital with the room where the people are recoverati, laboratory sure, geriatric center, also all firm with production, because in a lot of process of production they use the substance that are not green, and so I think that this device is very important to have for all my before exposed. Nothing. Re-excuse me for my English.
Sustainability, and now we have engineer Baccail, which is Federica Baccail, management engineer of Project Medicali, who is going to show us some commercial data and presentation. Thank you, Federica.
Thank you, Professor Silvestri. I'm Federica Baccaille. I'm in charge of commercial and marketing in Project Medicali. What I'll give you is a sort of recap of this great contribution of my colleagues. So, if I can, okay. So what we understood so far, we know we have a clinical validation, important clinical validation that assures that we have a total degradation in just 1 minute. So in this way, we can give you a valid support to manage the chemical and biological risk in the hospital, also for patients and also for personnel, which means that this machine is unique. There is nothing in the market like this. And we also have external certification that prove these things, because we have the Seal of Excellence, that is a very important and prestigious certificate given by 3 European Commission in terms of quality, efficiency, and performance of this machine. So if you know that this certificate is given only to 0.2% of medical devices company. So it's very, very important. It proves that the quality of this machine. And also we have green technology. We have designed this device with a very green approach, focused on the environment, because it's very important. Also, in terms of technology, because this technology is digital, because we need, a hospital need a technology that is digital and can lead it into the future, because we need the best for the hospital. So, what are our customers' opinion? We have done many demos. We have captured still now over 6 tons of infected waste, so we have degraded this infected waste, and all the feedbacks are very, very positive. All our customers recognize its utility and usefulness and uniqueness of this machine, because it's very important support for their work. And actually, the 80% of them have started the purchase process after trying this machine after just 1 month. So they really understand the utility and the importance of this machine. At this moment, we have a coverage in terms of commercial team of 60% in Italy, but we assume that on the next few months we are going to complete the coverage all over Italy, and we can spread the innovation and then go further in European and also abroad. So thanks to all these demos, we have done a sort of simulation of the impact on the hospital economy. So we have a reduction, on occupational disease to those due to cross-contamination, to those who carry every day heavy buckets full of infective waste. And also in terms of logistic costs, because they carry every day have hours and hours to collect and carry this waste. Hours that should be used to take care of patients, that actually is the main purpose of a hospital. We also have a reduction in terms of disposal costs, because we use less waste bag, and also we generated less dangerous waste. That's why. And also, the last one, time per intervention, because we have saved 30 minutes in neurology per each intervention, because it's very quickly and easy to clean up the operating room. We do not have any more liquids all over the floor, so it's very, very important. These are the impact of our technology, we assume, of our technology in a hospital economy. So if we think of all this data we have done, imagine the potential, no? Worldwide, that if every healthcare department use an ABT, we can have an impact on the environment, on occupational disease, on control of biological and chemical risk. It's very, very important. The potential is actually very big. So, okay, this is worldwide potential. So the last question is, why choose ABT? We have identified 2 main reasons, 2 global reasons. The first one is in terms of human health. We know that we have a reduction of infectious charge thanks to all the validation that proved it. We also stop cross-contamination, reduction of disposal costs disposal that are effective, and also we can manage the risk. But also we have an approach of work-life balance, because this machine helps simplifying work into the hospital. There's less stress and time in surgery room. And also this technology can give you a valid support on the job, because every day the job is very quick and the speed every hour needs we need to find a technology that can help you to do better work. And also the green technology that already tell. So if the question was why choose ABT, we will say, why not? So just let's make easier with ABT. That's all. Thank you very much.
If you have any questions about the several topics we have talked about.
We have also some folders if you want to depend on can give you. Everything clear? Okay.
Okay, so everything. You can also come here
Yeah, if you want to ask
watch the devices.
You can
If
try
you
the machine.
want, you can try the machine. Yeah, we are not so many, so you can all
Of course.
come closer and see the device. So it's my pleasure to thank you to you all for your attention and your participation. Thank you.